Alright, are we live here? Let's see. It is starting. Is it going? Alright, stream health looks good. Everything's good. Alright. So, we are back at Coldborough Park Farm. And this is actually going to just be my test bed for things I want to do in Shamrock Valley whenever it launches. So there are many things I am doing here that don't make sense in this particular environment, but there are many things that I am doing in this environment that make sense later on. So driving in the crop is not one of those things, but it is something that we're going to do to get this guy unloaded. So we've got to do some bale moving, we've got to do some farming here, and whenever I set up this game file, I made a boo-boo, and I'll show you that boo-boo here in just a second. Let's go ahead and get this guy unloaded here, because this has been pretty productive. Pretty good deal. Now, I am only using my mouse and keyboard today. Didn't feel like, you know, hooking up the wheel and everything. I still have to make a episode of Lone Oak Farm, so yeah, I am just kind of... Oh, come here. Come back. Here we go. Be a good harvester. Empty out. Yeah, I've got like a lot of playing to do today, so I didn't want to use my wheel all the time. I am not a skinny fellow, and the wheel gets in my way sometimes. Mainly it hits my gut. I'm fat and it hits my gut, okay? That's just what I'm going to say about that. So we've got that guy going. We need to shut the Ford down to save some fuel. This needs to come over. We need to get some of these bales picked up, but I've got so many of the straw bales that is going to take priority. Now, I did notice one thing. This trailer, either it's very heavy or something, because it just it'll drag down the tractor, and I don't know why. Like, okay, I'm just going to let off the gas. That is one hell of a stop. So, I don't know. Maybe I don't have the lines hooked over something. Hard to tell. Alright. Still trying to learn my way around the map and everything, but making a little bit of progress. But we've got a few straw bales to get picked up. We've got to keep an eye on that guy. Kind of a busy day. The main reason for doing a test run is I am testing out all of these different mods, making sure, you know, we don't have any kind of weird issues or anything. Now, the John Deere that we're in right now I've used before, so not too worried about it. I know it works. So, where is this? I need this guy. Now we will pick up a couple of bales. Jeez. Okay, like the stole is very fast. So that is something I have to write down in my notes, because believe it or not, I am a YouTuber that takes notes of mods that he uses. So, yeah. Like, certain things are certain ways, and you know what? Sometimes it helps to keep everything handy. Like, certain things that work, certain things that don't. Again, I'm off work today, so what all did I do today? Well, got a new job at a place called Puck Custom Enterprises, and that grass just grew up. Wonderful. They make slurry injectors, and they're like trailed, but not. It's weird how they're set up, like in a big reel. So that is where I start work on Monday. Now, that does not mean that I've quit, you know, mid-states or anything. They are still helping me with my CDL stuff and all that fun stuff. So, what is going on, Steve? I am doing pretty good. We've got a mess that I've got to clean up really quick. I didn't notice. So I did. I saw your message there. There are Fords that are more powerful. I have a TW25 in this one, like a 140 horse or so. I don't know what else I want to use. Do I not have... I've got a bucket here somewhere, don't I? I've got a rake. That will work. The Ford pack also comes with these. I'll just go ahead and show you. Oh, where are they at? So we can get a 35 at 186. But these I've never like seen in the US. I don't know if they're gonna fit in. But the I don't know. I'll figure it out. Somehow I'll figure it out. I need the labor. Get this all cleaned up, and then we gotta go get some straw because I need these guys producing some slurry for me today. Or not slurry, manure. They produce manure with straw, not just slurry. Go. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing what map? God, it was just catch the edge of the trigger. Why every video this happens? What? I go. There we go. On the new Oxygen David map, I will be doing things more manually, and I won't be doing things as fast either. So there's going to be like a lot more downtime. I think I'm gonna probably do that as a non-cut deal. Just, you know, try to play like an hour or so and just get it figured out, because I don't know, I want to play that way. I think it's going to be a pretty damn good map. I don't know how good. I'm hoping like low nook levels of good. It looks really good from all the posts I've seen, so I want to do a good job on it, but it's going to be like the most realistic thing I've ever done in farming sim, so that's going to be a little bit, you know, different for me. I only wish some of these tractors were faster though. God, he's already full again. Like, I just started them. We just emptied them out from being full. That's just crazy. But yeah, I'll be in the Shamrock Valley map. I'm going to be using the hose system, the mods that go with it, the Quaco twin shift, the small seed bags, you know, the ones that you can pick up by hand. I want to do everything more, you know, kind of hands-on, just kind of role-play it a little bit. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting. And right there is why you don't set up fields if you don't know the boundaries. That deal right there. Got grass growing in, or wheat growing in somebody's house, and that's never fun. Let's see here. Alright. Need this thing. I don't know where this pathing comes from, and it's been weird. Oh, you're full. Dang on. Like, all the mods that I use come from, God, all over the place. I've been not doing the modhub.us. All that seems to be stolen and nothing really ever works. A lot from Mod Hoster, but I gotta ask permission to use some of their mods. So that can be kind of a nightmare, and then I have to go through and test them. Facebook is a pretty good one too. And then, you know, like people on the Farming Sim Discord have been very, very helpful with some of the mods I've been looking for. You know, like I'll overlook them or something, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, man, it's this one here." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know that that was something that even existed," but apparently it was. Jeez, this is like the worst I've ever done with a worker. That's just That just looks bad. Where's my tractor? There it is. The bad thing is, though, like, you can test a mod for ever. Like, I could, you know, I'm using a bunch of stuff that I am going to be using on the Irish map here, you know, today, and everything seems hunky-dory, but I could load it into that, and then it's going to go just horribly wrong. You know, basically be a repeat of the baler on Lone Oak Farm, which was working, and then it just decided it didn't want to live anymore or something. I'm not exactly sure what happened to it, but it didn't enjoy picking up bales anymore for some stupid reason. Now, I do like this stole, though. I can say that. I'm always complaining that front loaders feel very, very slow, but this is like pretty quick, so I don't have to do great big, you know, mouse movements or anything, which is nice. Whoa, don't want to be jumping all over the place, though. These are horribly stacked. This is not something I would want to show off. There we go. Can I bounce these? Yeah, give them a little wiggle there. And close them up. There we go. 3 high should be just good. Just good. And put them back on the deer. But yeah, I think, you know, most of the mods are pretty interesting. Even some of those ones that I have, you know, like, hated in some of my videos. I'm like, God, I don't want to ever use this thing again. There is a pretty good idea behind them, at least. I have to do that so much. Like, have a mod adjusted. I'm actually getting to the point now to where I can kind of do most of it myself. And unless it's a Lewis script. If it's a Lewis script error, I am lost. Like, I cannot repair that at all. So it's kind of like, oh no. But there are so many good people in the Discord that can help you out. And if you are not a part of Bullet Bill's Discord, there are people in there to help out too. And like, you know, there are so many modding communities. Like, I've played games where there are a lot of mods, but there are just, I can't believe the amount of people that do mods for this game. It's like awesome. But at the same time, you know, you get what you know, like, you get some good, you get some bad too. So there are, Helper E is thinking it's done right now. I've done the world an injustice. Alright, you gotta fix them. Alright, how much of a mess have you actually made here? A pretty bad one. The telephone poles seem to be really, like, messing with them bad, and I don't know why. It seems like any other time that there's, like, a telephone pole on all the other maps I've done, they've done pretty good. But these, I don't know, it's like the hitbox is too big or something, or... See, I don't know exactly how a worker, quote-unquote, sees an object. You know, it's not based on any kind of visual signal or anything. It's got to be based on whether or not it is a physical object or like a kinetic or something like that. So, you know, anytime, you know, like people have had problems working with workers up against a wall. I've never really had that issue as long as I do, you know, a couple headlands. I can get them to work pretty good. But there's something about these poles, and I don't know exactly what it is that is, you know, making them be funky. It's like the pole is bigger than it is to the worker, but even based on like its actual hitbox. Like if I hop out here, you know, it's not like you can't walk through it or something. One thing I want to see in the next gen farming sim, I started playing this game, so I don't have like any experience with like the soil mod, and I think that that's like really interesting. I'm not a farmer. I don't know anything about that world, you know. I kind of go off of what, you know, people give me advice on. Yeah, this is what this equipment's for. This is what is used in this area of the world. You know, this is how it's used, and that's how I learn things. And I missed out on the soil mod, and I really wish it was for FS17, but I hope that they go more in depth in, you know, soil things for FS19. Like, if not 19, please give it to me in 21, because I could seriously, like, I wouldn't be in like such a rush all the time doing things if, you know, there was like more to it. Because, you know, when I'm making a video and stuff, it's got to be kind of fun to watch. And cultivating a field 4 or 5 times is hardly ever fun to watch. You know, I feel like that's all we ever did, you know, was just do field work. You know, once we've done, like on this map, let's say we've done field 8 3 times, you know, there's nothing new and exciting to it. If there was the dynamic of, oh god, they're already full again. If there was the dynamic of an ever-changing, like, acidic value or something in the soil, I think that, I need a rear weight, I think that it would be pretty cool. Because then you could do field work based on, you know, what the field actually needs, instead of, I am stuck on the one thing that's got a collision there. Instead of, you know, just cultivate, plow, seed, harvest. That's what I've heard too, but I don't know. I think, I don't know. Like, I never got to play with it, so I don't know. I think that it would be interesting from, like, the science part of it, but everything else would probably become kind of tedious. But there were so many things that went on along with it, like, why is this off? That one's full. Like the irrigation mod and everything like that. I think it's kind of like, what would be a good comparison to what we have right now? Like Seasons. Seasons is an awesome mod, but without Seasons geos, it's very repetitive. You know, you do the same again and again and again, whereas if you get a geo mod, then, you know, it changes it up. But then on top of the geos mod, you can also get custom crops, which is something I haven't done. So then that adds an extra layer, and, you know, like, it's a dynamic in the winter. Do you have a geo with winter, you know, with snowfall and everything? How are you going to play off of that? Do you do snow removal? Do you do, you know, it's just different things that you would do. And I'm about to go drive through the crop again, but I don't want to. I don't know. I think it could be pretty good if you've done it right. I think options. God, I'm all over the place today. I think options are like a very, very big, important part to, you know, any mod. Like Seasons. I like Seasons. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, without the whenever we were doing De Terra Italica, before it like completely broke on me, it was better for me to have the Geo that didn't have a winter. That way, you know, we weren't spending 6 days clearing just snow. I don't think that that would be very fun. And it was like the never-ending winter here in South Dakota, and I was so sick and tired of seeing snow. I didn't want it in my video game either. That guy's just not doing a good job. I'm not happy with that field. Like, at all. It's just, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan with how this is going. Alright. Stopped here. I do not know... Oh, I didn't mean to turn that off. I don't know how many more I've got here to pick up. I figure a few. Probably end up buying a rear weight today. What is our sell prices looking like? Oh, that's a green price. We're going to sell that right away. Wednesday Stores. Wednesday Stores is somewhere. Oh, it's already down there. Okay. So we'll make a little bit of money, and I can get a weight to put on this thing. I think another good mod that kind of bounces off of things is like the gearbox mod. And we had snow till the end of March. Oh yeah, there was just something about this winter. It never stopped. It was like sometime, okay, my friend Brittany, she come up, we went to Mount Rushmore and everything, and had a good old time. But while we were there, it was snowing, and that was in September. And it didn't turn from September until May, I think, is when it finally warmed up. Because I remembered saying, like, it's only like 3 weeks until June, and we got snow in May. And I was just livid. I couldn't take it anymore. I am not... Like, when I lived in West Virginia, snow was one thing. You know, you get snow, yep, it's pretty, it's white, might close down roads, and you get a day off. Out here, it's gray hell, and it just never stops. Although the winter before last wasn't too awful bad. It wasn't horrible by any means. Now, I may try out Courseplay in today's Lone Oak Farm video. I've kind of got it, like an idea of what I want to do. So I'm hoping to get that working today. That's like my big goal, is to get Courseplay working on that map, because I'm having to jump around so much it's getting a little tedious, but you know, I think it's going to be fine. And I'm hoping to be able to get enough money with the fields and everything that I'm really kind of pushing. Come on, back down. There we go. I'm kind of pushing to get the Akron silos as well, which looks a little janky, but they're like the ground silos or whatever, the bag silos. I think, you know, it kind of fits in the theme that we've got going on. I push these. How much can I go? Come on, scooch. A little bit more. Got 1 ton, got a ton and a half. All right. No. You stay. You stay. You stay. I want to do this. So if I back up. Shit. Am I golden here? Haha! Gotcha. Alright. There you go. That's one stack. You only get one strap? No, there's two. There we go. It's not horrible. It could be a lot better, but we saved it. They didn't fall, so that's good. Oh, wait. That guy was done. I gotta go fix that. Where are you? Oh, this is a mess. This is an absolute mess. Why can't I harvest this? Oh well. It's fine. I'll get it figured one day. I'm just glad that this is like a test map, and you know, I'm more worried about the machinery than I am, you know, like map quirkiness. But I think I really do. I think that Shamrock Valley is probably going to be one of the better series that I'm going to do. Just because I've put so much time into like researching, watching videos, watching how, you know, things are done. I'm like extremely excited for it. I need the H key. There we go. Like one thing I'm gonna do is, you know, the go wheel, or however you say it, that baler, the big baler, like you set up and then you pour your contents into, and you can bale basically anything in the world. Is there another one down there? Yeah, there was. That gives you an option for a knife, right? Like you can use the knife to open up a bale. So what I want to do is have like a Massey 135, okay, with the little bale spike that you put on the 3-point, and a small shovel on the front forks, and basically cart the bale. I just left and he's got an 80% tank. Cart the bale over to, you know, to where your fill point is. Like on this one, I would take it inside the pen and everything. Drop that bale off the back, cut it open, and then, you know, shovel it in with the front shovel. Because, you know, you wouldn't be giving... you wouldn't just be giving your animals a bale and a bale. You know, we'd... I mean, yeah, you can, but, you know, I think that's something I want to do, and, you know, be, like, more hands-on. I want to be more hands-on with, like, the filling of the seed and the fertilizer in, like, the smaller stuff. More hands-on with the hose system. You know, doing things of that nature, I think, can be kind of enjoyable, but it's going to be, like, a more slow... like a slower series. It won't be, you know, progress every day like we've been making on Lone Oak Farm. I'm going to start with every field, so we won't have that sense of, you know, progress in that manner. But, you know, there still will be some equipment upgrades that we can make, you know, to slightly bigger stuff, and all that jazz. But most of the, you know, progress, I feel, will be made for me, you know, with a more enjoyable experience. You know, having, you know, things... I mean, stuff's still going to go wrong. Let's face it, it's going to be a video by me. Things are going to happen. But I think that most things... this balancing act, though. There we go. Most things are going to be pretty interesting. Because, you know, I've been asking other YouTubers, I've been asking farmers in, you know, that area and stuff, hey, what size equipment would you use for, you know, this size of field and whatnot? And, you know, I think that that's a pretty important dynamic to have. All right, let me get turned around here. Get that guy on follow me. Hopefully we don't tip. I've had trouble with this trailer tipping before. Right. Here we go. And hopefully we just don't get... Oh, I need to go fix this again. I'll hit shift beside the tractor. There we go. Where is the Ford? There we go. Well, at least you're on the correct side this time. I'm interested to see in FS19, you know, everybody talks about like the lime, and apparently that is going to be for your cereal crops, which is, you know, like a big plus. So if we put down lime, then I don't have to plow again. And, you know, apparently farmers are going less and less till. Like, you're not plowing the land as much. They're going like 1 to 5 centimeters in the ground with a power harrow. Like, you know, we've got the chopped straw, so they'd put a power harrow on and go to town with that. Hold on, somebody's knocking at my door. Sorry about that. Get set back on here. There we go. What was I going to say? But I think another thing I'd like to see is more like dynamic in how we do our fields. Okay, so let's say we do like no plowing or whatever we decide to do at some point. We can, you know, do no plowing, that's fine, but there should be a system in place that, okay, let's say I have a grass field I want to use, and that grass field is now grown up. Well, you know, if I don't take care of that grass field, then it's going to get overgrown, it's going to be full of weeds and everything else, and I want to change that grass field to arable. You know, not a big deal. This guy's going to jump and then go left. Good, I was right. So that field is going to have to be worked. Okay, you would think, all right, well, we can just plow it in and try to turn that land back into something we use. Well, what would actually happen is, because the land, you know, it's got grass on it so tall and everything, you would take a cultivator first, like a disc, and go over it. Then you would plow it, and then you'd harrow it to knock down all like the big heavy stuff, because, you know, you're not using that land for X amount of time. Then you're going to have issues, you know, getting it to work correctly and stuff. So I wish that that was kind of like a dynamic that the game had. You know, little things. I'm pretty happy with the game because I don't know a lot about farming. I need you to Wait, no. There we go. Like, I'm pretty happy with the game overall. Like, there are a lot of things I don't know, you know, game mechanic-wise in this one yet. Like, the other day, I was playing the West Coast. I think it was like the last episode of on the West Coast. And it was very, very cool that I learned that you could, like, mow, you know, some crops for some silage. You know, that's not something I thought about ever. So it was a pretty cool. Can I put this back and put the weight back onto me? Yes, I can. Okay. Now, I don't know where this exactly goes, but hopefully around here somewhere. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, killer. Easy. If it doesn't go in this gate, it's going to go to the gate to the side. I'm very, very light. I need like a 600k weight. Is this too tall for this door? Oh, no way. Gotta lean all the way back. So it's 3 bells is all I'd ever be able to get. Helper D is done again. Alright, so apparently it does go over there. Hopefully I don't need a chopper. That's gonna be a not fun time because I don't own one. And we're kind of low on casholas. Does open, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, this is a bullet bill map, so it should be the same as the West Coast. He likes to use assets, so let's see here. Yeah, we're good now. There we go. Do you need more? You can't be full, are you? No, you're not even close. Why aren't you taking? Okay, there we go. There we go. One. I forgot they fell off the other side. Oh boy. Oh well. Win some, you lose some. What do you do? This thing feels like the Valmet. I don't know if anybody here was here when I was playing Altenstein like every day, but that's still like one of my favorite maps. And this feels like driving the Valmet around. It's so rear end light. It's just kind of weird. I do miss that thing. That was like the most fun little tractor. It only had like 60 horsepower too, but it I really liked it. You know, every time I drove it, it kind of gave me a smile. I think it was like because it was so underrated or something. Whoa, let's no. Stop your shenanigans. There we go. You know, you didn't really expect a lot from the Valmet when you played, you know, with the Valmet. Now, no, we're still like miles off. Come on. Don't know exact. Okay, the trigger is like towards the middle, apparently. Alright. Oh, it's gonna do that thing. The middle's gonna fill up with poo. Okay, that's fine. So we've got 100. We're producing pretty good. We're only at 28% productivity, though. I need to get some silage and hay action going on at some point, but I was mainly worried about this number here. I need that to be pretty good. So, alright. Don't need this running no more. I need... Oh, you're like actually done? Really? Oh no, you're not close. You're not even close to being done. We've got work to do, my friend. Yeah. little bit off there. Not too much, not too much. Mind the noise. The only way to drink any kind of soda is from a can, or pop, or Pepsi in this case, whatever you want to call it. It's only good from a can. And a totally unrelated thing, one of the restaurants I eat at a lot, I think I would host a one-off multiplayer game as long as I wasn't like recording it, because I can either host the game and everything's kosher, or I can record a game. I tried to do the stream with my brother, and then he ended up having to be the host because my computer couldn't like handle it. So we could do a multiplayer game. Okay, you got me there. Glass is better, but there's like nobody there. We can do a multiplayer game. I think I'll set it up, one time. Probably toward the end of Lone Oak Farm. Whenever I've got, more equipment and everything. I'd like to invite, the people that are normally commenting and everything. And we can just kind of dick around and, play around the map or anything. Or hopefully by then, I start my new job on Monday, and all of that is going to bills and a new PC again. So, I'm not happy with the AMD at all. Just not been a fan. It's been it's been underperforming in everything that I've done. I can't play, certain video games. Even Fallout 4, which is older. If Fallout 4 come out in, what, 2015, 16, something like that, it's still, most of it is based on the graphics card, but it's, I just have so many problems. It's not worth it. Yeah, I mean, it would be like in the evening. The new work hours are going to be like, they're like 8 to 5 with overtime, so it'd probably be like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. I'll put it up on the, I guess I have a channel page, right? I don't know. I've never like looked into that stuff. But yeah, we can definitely play. But it'd be like later in the evening. It wouldn't be, what time it is right now. But yeah, I'd love to play with people. Like it'd be fun. Definitely be fun. All right, can I get this kind of cutting the right way? I am on Central Time. So, just add an hour for East Coast. Now, you're in PA? Whereabouts in PA? Get them going there. Wait, that was a mistake. I just set that guy up to fail, so I'm gonna have to wait on him anyway. Might be able to reach my truck from here. I think I can. I think I did it before, too. If I can reach the truck from this side of the bush, then that's gonna be awesome. Oh, that's a spray you got there. Yep. Okay. I actually dated a girl that she lived in, what do they call that? Prussia? Something like that? I can't remember. It's been like 10 years ago. But, yeah, that's where she was from. Pretty nice little place, but it wasn't that far from the house either, so it didn't take very long to get there. This guy going again. He's at 74%. He'll be complaining that he's going to be full. All right. So as soon as we get this knocked out, then I can start worrying about like some other field. Like I want to do more field work. All we've done is harvest stuff, and I'm like tired of harvesting. You know, everybody, that's one thing, you know, you see so many people play this game and they've all got like a favorite job. And mine, honestly, may be like all the animal work. It's either animal work or like tillage. I think anything that shows like a dramatic change in whatever you're doing is always interesting to see. How full is this? I can fit what I've got in here and there, and we'll go sell this. Like, don't get me wrong, I like, you know, seeing the numbers go up and make a lot of money, but I don't know. I just never have honestly liked the harvest. It just seems, you know, I don't know. To me, it's like the most boring thing, I guess. The most boring job in FS. Only complaints about being here is my front lawn, and it's a mini adventure. Oh yeah, like even okay. You know, lawn time. we could take a minute and talk about lawn care. The yard here is horrible. The backyard's probably 50 foot wide, 100 foot down. If I was gonna take a guess and you know, say that that's what it is. I've never like measured it, but whoever, well, we've got a lot of that too. Whoever owned the house before we started was horrible. Like they just never took care of it. So it's kind of flat, like it looks flat until you mow it, and then it's just like waves and everything else. And I do it by a push mower. Just how I've always mowed grass. And I've been up here 4 years. In the past 3 years, like 3 summers, I've been working trying to get, you know, like these, I don't know what they are. I guess they're snake holes out here or something. But like filled in and made flush, because you'll be pushing the mower along and then the front wheel will dip in and it's just a nightmare. Now, we lived in another town before we moved to this one in South Dakota, and I had a little John Deere rider. Man, you could cut some grass. I've never been anywhere where you could throw the mower in high gear and mow at the same time and it never bog. It was just, you could just fly through it, and it was no problem. And it was only like a little 24 horse or something like that. Oh, that's never good. Where's this go? Wait, why does it say in here? What? This ain't right. I'm gonna mess up right here. No, I'm in like the wrong spot. The best advice I can give to like trying to fix a yard is like mine. I overfilled it with some dirt from a local farmer. It's like that good South Dakota black dirt. And whenever, like every year, I take and rent a roller and go over it with a big water-filled roller, and that's helped out a lot. But it's still not perfect. And I'm one of them people, you know, if I'm going to have a yard, I want my yard to be nice. Like, I can't stand, like, having, like, sticks and, like, leaves and stuff in it. I want to have, like, a really nice yard. There is a channel, what is it called? Let me think here. God, I can't remember. I was like watching it the other day, and he does like aerial drone footage of his like yard and everything like that, and he doesn't have a like a commercial mower. It's got like one, you know, like I've got a what do you call that thing? A Toro or something? Starts with a T. See a Toro or Troy Bill. And you know, he's got like a different blade on it and stuff. And I think the most expensive thing he bought was he got one of those like it's gas powered, but it's like the old timey what do they call it, a reel mower or something like that. And you know, he done like a comparison and, you know, talking about, you know, how the yard has to be set up and everything. And it was like his yard had to be completely flat because he's going to cut his grass at like 3/8 of an inch tall or something. And to me, that's just like, I can't imagine grass being that short and being like comfortable to walk on or anything. Whoa, buddy. Slow your roll there. Like, the big thing for me whenever we moved here, there's a car show every year in the town that I live in, and I live on Main Street. The car show is on Main Street, and you know, the first year that we moved into this house, you know, we had like dandelions really bad. I mean, like bad. And then we had like this old tree out front. It's like an old oak tree, and the little, or walnut tree. It's a walnut tree. So you get them all over the yard, and it was like really badly pitted, and it was more weed than grass. So, god dang it. Getting that the first year, I basically killed the yard the first year I was here. We put down so much like weed killer and everything. Like, he lives in some suburb. I'm probably going to say like North Carolina suburbs, if I was to take a guess, just by like the landscape around. And just the contrast between his neighbors and him, like, he's got like the extreme. He's got like Mr. Hoarder guy as a neighbor, and then he's got, you know, typical, you know, homeowner that tries to take care of the yard and stuff, and then there's his yard. And it is ridiculous. Like, it is probably one of like the most stark contrast that I can think of. Hello, Enrique. How are you going today? Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll find it really quick. It won't take me but a second here. Real mower. Oops, that was a mistake. Okay, I hope everybody's still there, because I mean, I just kind of messed up. Alright, let's see here. What's this? Should be that guy right there. Sward Man Reel Mower is what I done. I accidentally closed out the client, so I hope it didn't crash. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Got a new job start on Monday, so that's always a nice thing. How about yourself? Alright, there we go. Now, how are we doing on everything else? Wow, I should just go and fill this thing up and take and sell it. That way we've got a little bit of spending money today. But yeah, that was the mower that he's got, and I think it's just like so cool. I wish my yard was like his. Like, I am like on the nitty-gritty about my stuff, but there's a certain level. Okay, yeah, there it is. Get to it. I fill. Here we go. Yes. We can get filled. We can fill her up and make some money today. Alright, so what are we going to buy, though? That is the thing. So we need to test out the next mod. What do I got? The Quaco we need to test, but I don't have enough slurry for it. The horse, I know works. We could get a cultivator, I guess. Metal tech, that's 100 horse, only 4 meter wide. That one's 6 at 180. We can get this at 280. I don't have anything for 280. I was wanting to try this out for another series, though. I don't know. That's only 34 grand, too. I do know I need to get somebody working in one of these fields doing something or other. What sower do I have installed? Okay, no, we do have to till. Okay. Alright, so I need to basically get somebody doing something in this game. Make me some more money. Because money makes the world go around. But we will run this down here and sell really quick. I want to get that guy working. The JCB costs me a lot of money every day, so I want to have it working. My favorite tractor brand. I am not a farmer, so I have to go based solely off of looks. And because I like boxy things from the 80s, it would probably be either, I know that they're probably like the same tractor, the Fiat 190 or the New Holland 190. I think is a very cool looking tractor. For American brands, that's probably going to be, what, could you not hit me, please? Thank you. Not the newer 7 Series. I like some of like well, I've got one on Lone Oak Farm, a 7800. I like that kind of sealed beam, still kind of front end, but they like started to kind of, you know, step up their game. The 4440 John Deere is another good looking one, just because they're out here. The New Holland T8. I think that those are pretty good looking. Yeah, so it's like hard for me to have a favorite brand because I don't own like an actual tractor. Garden tractor favorite brand, Massey. Lawn tractor favorite brand is going to be John Deere because you can get them with some pretty good mowers. Like they always seem to cut a little bit better. Small tier tractor, either New Holland or Valmet, just because I think they're kind of pokey and they look good. Medium size would probably go to the 7800 over the Fiat, if you want to class them as the same, because they're around the same kind of horsepower. I've never really thought about that question, honestly. I could just, you know, be a cop out and say Mahindra or something. Because that was what we used back home. You know, you didn't have like really big tractors, and whenever I done work for the what is that trail system called? God, we were just talking about it the other day. Hatfield-McCoy Trail in West Virginia down south. We would go and clear areas out, and we had 2 Mahindras, a Coyote, and there was something else. I think it was like a Mahindra, or not a Mahindra, a Massey. And I liked them pretty well. They felt pretty good on like a hillside because we were doing like a lot of slide slope and stuff like that. So as far as tractors I've driven, the Mahindra drove the best for an actual tractor. Now where I started working at now, they've got not a brand new series John Deere 7 Series, but a little bit older one. And I should probably start driving it around next week sometime, pulling in and out slurry injectors. So that would be kind of cool because I've never driven one. And that brings up another thing we were talking about in the Discord the other day. Somebody said something about a shuttle shift, and I probably talked about this in the stream yesterday too. I didn't know what a shuttle shift was because I'd never heard it called a shuttle shift before. We had always called them reversers. So it was a secondary box or something that would have reverse gear built into it, and then you know, you'd slot in. Okay, like let's say you had an old dump truck, like a heavy haul dump truck. Okay, nothing like you would normally see out on the road. All right, so you're out there, you're running through, you know, your twin sticks is how most of these were set up. So you'd have, you know, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4 on the main gear, you know, like a normal car, you know. And then you have an auxiliary box, and that would be 3 to 4 speeds. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's say you're in aux box 2, gear 3. Okay, in Ford. Well, then you'd have a reverser box, and either most of these either had reverser boxes or they had split rears. Split rears was for another gear set, and reversers was for reverse. So if you had a reverser, you didn't ever have a split. If you had a split, you never had a reverser, it seemed like. But it would let me have, you know, reverse 1 or 2, just depending on what it was for. You're talking like some of these heavy haul trucks, you would back up an incline to dump, you know, some of this stuff out. So I would be in, you know, gear main box 2, aux box 3, reverser 1. So the reverser 1 would be an underdrive, and reverser 2 would be either a 1-to-1 or very, very close to 1-to-1 gear. And they were pretty cool at the time, but apparently a shuttle shift does the same thing. But I'd never heard it called that, so that was I need to shut this down. There we go. I want to get the JCB to work though. That was like a very cool thing, but very, very old tech. Like most of that stuff, okay, I am only 32 years old. Most of the stuff that I've had to work on and be around, I worked for a guy even before I went into high school. It was just like basically pocket money. And, you know, he was a junk guy. That was his job. He like went around to these places and collected like scrap metal and stuff. And all his stuff was old and beat up and from way before I was ever thought about. I wasn't a twinkle in my daddy's eye when, you know, some of this stuff was made. And I learned to drive a triple stick Mac. A triple stick Mac was a main box, aux box, split rear. And I really like that truck, but like it took, I don't know where I'm going with this baler. It goes back here somewhere. The main problem with that truck was it didn't have a synchronized transmission, so everything was either you floated it into gear or you banged it into gear, one of the two, or you had to double clutch it. And he got rid of that. Let's see, what did he get after that? We had an old, it was either an Army or a Navy or Air Force, whatever. It was a cab over International, and it had a 6V72, the little V6, and you had to run the guts out of it to make it work. I don't know what I'm doing. I got talking and now I'm all lost. And it was a lot better, but it was really weird to drive. If you ever got in a wreck in it, you would be the first one to that wreck. Like, without a doubt, you were going to die. You know, if you ever hit anything with it. It was only single rear axle, too, so it was a little bit odd. Like, if you were going across his yard, you know, everything in West Virginia is like up in the hills and stuff. If you were going across his yard and hit a little down, and then you just jammed on the brakes, it had a valve for the air brakes, for the front brakes. You could turn them off. That's how old this thing was. You could turn off the braking to the front. But if you didn't, and you just jammed on the brakes, you would pull the rear axle off the ground if you were going downhill. And that thing was trippy to drive. You know, I was like 14. So 13, 14 years old, however old you are in middle school. But yeah, that thing was a death trap. And then we had many a deuce and a half. you drive a Deuce, and once you drove a Deuce, you never wanted to drive anything else. Mainly, you know, it was it could go anywhere in West Virginia, and you didn't have to worry about it. Where everything else we had, you know, you could get stock wherever you were. So the Deuce was kind of good. Hey man, what's going on today? I'm making a mess. I've made a mess. The Deuce was kind of cool too. If you've ever been in the Deuce and a half, the shifting pattern is not what they call an H shifter. Okay, H shifter one straight back 2, up and over 3, back 4, up and over 5. Right? It's like your normal your H pattern 5 speed. Okay, a Deuce was different. You had, okay, I might say this wrong, so please don't chastise me if I say this wrong. Somebody's going to Google it. You would go, with the Deuce, you would go 1 straight back to 2. You would push up out of 2, go over to where 4th would be in an H pattern. Okay, and that was 3rd. And then you would go straight forward for 4. And then you would go the normal 5th position. And you know, they were clunky, but they run on anything. I think a Deuce could run on... How did I miss this bales? I was back here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I've missed bales. We can't do this. Well, I can do this from the other side, I guess. Yeah, the first time I drove a Deuce was a little bit trippy, because it didn't have... You had a button to roll the motor over. It wasn't a starter switch. That button was to roll the engine over, to think about it might start, you know. On the other side, you had this big long plunger deal. Okay, so if you pulled the plunger out, the motor stopped. If you pushed the plunger in, the motor would start. And so you go through there and you push the plunger all the way in, and you get it to get going and everything. And then the transmission was weird. You didn't have full drive or anything. It was just like high and low. Then you had like your PTO controls and everything like that. It was a very eye-opening experience driving one, and I've wanted one ever since. We built a bob one. A bob Deuce is, okay, like a Deuce has got tandems on the back. Okay, so you know, 8 wheels. Well, we would take one set of those tandems off and make it into like a giant pickup truck. And a lot of people are doing them now. We didn't call them Bob back then. They were just a pickup Deuce. But I lived right near a place called Clark Truck Parts. Clark Truck Parts took used Deuce and a halves. They would buy them at like a military auction. And they would restore them and sell them overseas. I guess like Saudi Arabia or something. Whoever had the most money. And yeah, they done that for years and years. Now, when I went back, they were closed. So, I mean, I guess that was a dying market. I guess, I don't know. But that would be where we would go and get parts all the time, was from Clark Truck Parts if we needed like a taillight or something. So all that was pretty neat. I got to drive all that stuff. The first Volvo I ever drove was a old what's the name of that company? Yellow Freight. I think they're YRC now or something. They got restructured. But yeah, one of theirs, it had a 7-speed on it with it was either a 7 or a 9. It might have been a 9. God, I'm thinking back way too many years now. It had a 400 big cam in it, and that was just a horse. We hauled, if you ever do a Google search of the Nitro Barrel Plant in Nitro, West Virginia, whenever they finally stopped producing like 55-gallon drums, the guy that I was working for bid on basically everything in the building to tear out. And we went in and just took everything. I mean, if it was even attached to the walls, we were still taking it. We took conveyor belts, presses, cylinders, barrels that weren't complete, bands, just everything. We took everything out of that building. And he bought that truck and a roll-off trailer for that job. And there were many times we would go, like if you do a Google search of Nitro, West Virginia, and you see where the old barrel plant was, we would go from the barrel plant to RJ Recycling, which is 5 miles up the road. We would have that trailer loaded so heavy, and this is back when steel was worth a lot of money, but we would have that that trailer loaded up so heavy that when you took off, okay, so you slot it in first and you try to get rolling, you know, I mean just like trying to get rolling. You weren't trying to show off or anything. You let off the clutch and you gave it full fuel and you might get it rolling. Front end would come up off the ground every time. And that was pulling out like the loading docks. And yeah, I've done that job the whole summer. And the funniest thing was that was right when I started high school. And I joined the marching band. And I don't care what anybody says about being a band geek or anything, that was the most fun I ever had. But I would leave work to go do, like, it was like 2 hour long, like during the summer, like band classes. So I'd leave work on a forklift, drive across the street to the high school, do, you know, our little skit there, because, you know, you had to, like, practice where you go and everything. And drive the forklift back and go back to work. So basically, I took my lunch to go do band stuff, and I've done that the whole summer. It was very, very cool. And they had a press. It was a 1956 model Hamilton barrel head press, and it got run by some giant electric motor, like a 30 horse electric motor or something. And you'd shove in a piece of steel or tin or whatever makes a barrel top, and this head would come down and would smash it out. You know, it'd make like 4 of them at a time. So that thing would come down and just do that. Well, this thing was like, okay, this building, with the truck inside, it had a big overhead crane, and it was like a big gantry crane. It stretched over half the factory. I'm going to say that it was probably 60 foot tall, if I was going to be guessing. Okay, now this thing was just too big, just too big to move as one piece. You're talking hundreds of tons of, you know, copper, brass, steel, cast, you know, and you wanted to get all that, you know, sliced up anyway. So we started taking this thing apart. And it had a giant cylinder in it, okay? So that thing was hooked up to a connecting rod. It looks like a connecting rod in your car, but just huge, okay? And it would come down, you know, stamp out that thing. So we took the, I don't know what all the parts are called, but we took basically what I would say is the cylinder head off of it, or the oil pan, whichever way you kind of want to look at it. And took all of it apart, right? So your engines or your motors, electric motors, were on top, and so we took them off and scrapped them out because you can get all kinds of copper out of a big electric motor like that. So took all them out. Then we you know, started from the top and just tore it down. Well, when we got down to that connecting rod and its you know, cap and everything, you know, yeah, we took it apart and went to go, you know, take all the bushing and everything out of it. And this brass bushing, okay, this is what they call red brass, I think is what they called it. It was big enough for me to sit in as a chair. Like, this is no joke. That's how big this bearing, bushing, whatever you want to call it, was. Like, it looked like a giant metal armchair. And I think off the press, whenever we turned in, you know, all the weight tickets and everything for just the press, he made like 72 grand off of copper, the brass, you know, your normal steels, your non-ferrous. There was some aluminum in it, all that stuff. It was just an ungodly amount of money. And he laughed all the way to the bank, because here I was, it was me and another guy working for him, and we weren't that old. You know, I was in my first year of high school. And yeah, he paid us like pennies, but to us it was like a lot. Like, we made like $100 a day. And we thought we were just rolling in it, you know. But he was making just buku amounts of money, and it was just nuts. That was a very good time. Like, I don't like the guy anymore, but I have a lot of like good memories from doing that kind of work, and it was very, very cool, very, very neat. You know, all that you see, because I'd never known that stuff was in there. You know, Nitro, West Virginia is not a very big place, and Helper A is starting to tick me off. Yeah, I never knew none of that stuff was in there. I think a crane place is in there now. What they call All Crane or something like that. Oh, it must be full now. Hey, look at there. We're finally full up on straw. Now get off my forks. Or glitch out. Okay, you can stay right there. That's fine. Yeah, that was how I spent all that time. This guy can go. How done are you? Are you like done? Wow, you are kind of done. You missed a little bit. Or is this some of that that won't go? This is probably some of that won't harvest. No, I don't know why this won't harvest, but that's weird. Alright. We'll just plow it in and call it good then. But yeah, I've done all kinds of that work for like a long time. But that's where I like learned how to operate machinery and stuff, and got me interested into mechanics and, you know, how things work. Because nothing is more fun than tearing apart somebody else's very, very expensive toy. And seeing if you can either get it put back together or taking it and crushing it. That's just, it was always, you know, there was always something different. But with the good come the bad too. You know, the guy, he would sell anything. If it existed, he would sell it. So we went and got an old Impala before they were like actually worth anything. And a horse farmer owned it, and apparently I guess he thought it was a good idea to park it right next to where they, you know, were scooping out all the poo and everything, and had to drag it out of a giant pile of poo. I have been knee deep in that, and I'd rather not to anymore. Don't have the stomach for it anymore. What else did we get that was kind of weird? Had an old airport snowblower, and it was made by Oshkosh. And it was very, very big. Oh, I can get some of this. Oh, that's nice. But we had it, and we used it as a like a mover. Like if something was stuck, you know, you either went and got a deuce or you went and got the Oshkosh. And the thing about the Oshkosh was it had, you know, like a regular. Wait, can I get this now? I wouldn't get this earlier. Apparently I can? What? Okay, I'm confused. I was just here, right? Like, I'm not, like, confused, right? Alright, whatever. The Oshkosh, because it was a airport snowblower, and, you know, I'm pretty sure that not just airport snowblowers have this, but it had another engine set on the back, and that engine set just run the blower part, okay? So that engine was way bigger than the truck engine too, and it was like a giant weight, you know, like you'd put like a weight on a tractor or whatever. That was just an absolutely heavy monster of a truck, and it would pull anything. To this day, that's the strongest pulling thing I've ever been in. I'm sure that I could hook it up to anything, and to this day, it would pull it. No problem, no question asked. It would do what I asked it to do. But yeah, I've done like a bunch of odd jobs for a long time, so I've got like, my resume looks really, really weird. some of the stuff I've got to work on is just, you know, very odd. Okay, why can I harvest some of this but not the other? Oh my god. This is horrible. I don't understand. I am very confused. Okay, whatever. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to plow it in. We've got more than enough today. But yeah, like, you work that many odd jobs for so long, it's very hard to go and do like a normal job somewhere. And I actually, to this day, because things don't change so much, you know, like you do a job for so long, you just get kind of bored with it. I have a hard time keeping like a regular. What is going on? Did I break the game? Is it like gonna crash now? This isn't full, is it? No. I'm gonna save the game just in case. Wait, why is that barley? What? Okay. That's I'm gonna say I probably set the field up wrong whenever I got it. So we'll leave that alone for right now. But yeah. Yep. Let's not talk about that. That was a mistake. So that's probably why I won't pick up any of the wheat. Is because it's barley, and I don't know why it is. I think we'll go and... Will this reach? Oh, it's so close. No! It's letting me down this time. I think we'll go grab the rest of what's, you know, in this and in the, that thing. The silo thing. And... get it all sold and make a little bit more money. And we might even hit 100 grand. You never know. It's the dream, right? As I hit everything. Backing up. It's no wonder I'm burning up again. I turned off my fan again. Okay, there we go. Lots better. We can pull up out of here. I don't need this for right now. We need to get cracking. Well, we ain't gonna have very much done today. I want to get a lot done. These telephone poles are killing me, though. Well, there are a few more mods I want to try out. So, this is going to be totally unrealistic, but that is what this is for. So we're going to turn on the money cheat for right now. And I want... Go to tractors. Where is it? 186. Where's the big boy? I thought I had it installed. Maybe I don't. No. Is this the one? No. Where is the... I thought I had the big Ford installed. Weren't we just talking about it a little bit ago? 11. No. 77. No. EW 30, 177, 186, 25, 185. Huh. Well, I guess we can try out the Kloss. 445. And we'll go with the chrome part facelift. Sure, why not? Yeah, go with that. We'll go with that. We'll buy that. And there was the cultivator. This one. Yeah, this one. This is the one I wanted to try. Ball hitch, pin hitch. Pin hitch because I don't have a pickup. There we go. Realism breaking done now, I promise. There we go. We're good. So, I tab. Well, we need to park this too. Before I get ahead of myself. Because we're going to use the... did I call the thing a Challenger by accident? The Kloss. We're going to use the Kloss in this field. So, want to get it all put up and squared away. And then we'll start the pole on it. Now, that's like 10 meters wide. The 435 was probably a little bit overkill, but... You know what? It's fine. I missed another bale. Where are these bales coming from? I am not having a fun time with bales. Put this back up in here. Not a big deal. Where is it? There we go. This thing. This is what I was wanting to try out. The main reason I picked this map is I think it's going to kind of resemble the landscape that I'm going to be moving into. So, you know, that's why I'm trying to test things that I know I'm going to get at one point or another in the next series. In this map in particular is because, you know, like the varying hills and everything like that. So, got to kind of watch, you know, my power usage and everything. And I think that's a pretty big part. Because sometimes, you know, you can get like overpowered machinery. And I don't like that. I've never really liked that part. I always want my stuff to grunt a little bit, but I haven't found a good potato harvester. I need to find a good potato harvester mod. And I am worried that one does not exist. Alright, let's get this thing unfolded. Folding animation looks good. So far, unless it, like, breaks. I'm not, like, a fan of the texture work. It's just, it looks like it's just painted. Or something, I don't know. It's just, not my ideal. Pulls good, works good. Works a treat, really. Able to go 10, so that's a plus. I just don't know if it's going to be too big on the new map, because I don't know how big the... I have no idea how big the fields are going to be. I think that they're going to be about this size. If I was going to guess at the... Because it said small to medium fields, and these are what I call, you know, small to medium fields. And I don't think, you know, if we get something like this, it's probably going to be towards the end of it. You know, whenever we get bigger tractors and stuff. But I think starting out, I'm going to have pretty much a rule not going over like 4 or 5 meters wide on anything. Just so, you know, we don't have like an issue where, you know, I just blaze through everything really fast. Because, again, I do want to have that feeling whenever I'm playing that map of, you know, instead of looking towards map progression, we're looking at, you know, like personal progression, you know, more down to earth kind of, you know, farming where we're spending a little bit more time doing, you know, little things and trying to get it all cleared up and fixed. You know what? Alright. I know this is going to break realism again. Okay, let's hit... what field are we in? We are in field 2. Okay, so if we go to field 2, and we change field 2 to grass, Where's grass? Grass. We already own it. It's sown. There we go. That. Okay, we hit execute on this. Alright, so everything behind us now is grass, but that turns that back into grass at that guy's house. So I think that may fix my little issue that I made. But I'm basically going to plow all this in the hopes that it fixes the rest of the boo-boo that I had, because I made one heck of a boo-boo whenever I made the map. So, yeah. I know people are probably jumping in and here like, why is this guy cheating so much? It's because I'm trying to test out mods for an upcoming map. If you're just now, you know, coming in here wondering what is going on, I am like legitimately trying to find issues with mods that I'm probably going to use in an upcoming series. And while I am doing this as a serious exercise, you know, basically, you know, okay, I need to test this tractor and this cultivator. So yes, I did cheat the money for it, but at the same time, if I go to sell this, like basically I'm borrowing this. It is a what do they call them sometimes? Oh, I know the answer. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Like a trial period. So we're not leasing it. So we're not losing, you know, the money from leasing it. But you know, it is a trial period for this tractor and everything. So that is how I'm going to play that off. So whenever we're done for it, I'm going to sell it, but I'm going to sell it with the money cheat back on, so we don't gain any money from that. That makes sense. Realism testing and all that fun stuff, right? But yeah, this is like the main... Like, this is how I go about testing things, okay? Whenever I say, alright, I've got a mod that I want to use in a map, okay? So let's say I'm going to use, I don't know, the Ford 40 series, right? So we got the Ford 40 series on Lone Oak Farm. I love that little tractor. Alright, so before I bought it and brought it into the game, I have the save saved. I buy it. I run around the map, make sure, you know, it's not going to like immediately crash when I hook onto anything that we've already got, or anything that we could have within like the next, let's say, 2 episodes or whatever, right? So then, after I do that, I make sure, you know, everything works, IC works, there's no like big mod conflicts, which is, you know, kind of a big issue. Mod conflicts can be a pain. They can be an absolute nightmare. So I was, at one point, I had 2 save files. So like I had Lone Oak that you guys got to see, and then I had Lone Oak that I got to see. So, you know, I would try to do all my testing on one and then bring everything in, and it would supposedly be okay, but it never worked. So that's why I went with doing it on the live version. So hopefully it fixes some of the like the small issues that we get in the map sometimes. Alright, helper somebody was stuck. Helper somebody has run through a hedge. Helper somebody is doing something wrong. What in the world is going on? Alright. This was a mistake. I don't need them on anymore. Let's get rid of them. Alright, let's try this again. I know I'm going to have to come and reset you, but you can do the work. I have faith. I have faith that that worker can at least get 2 passes done. Because I just want to use this in this field. I would rather that field stay our other cultivator. Because that's kind of like my... what are you going to call that? It's like a scientific word for it. Oh well, whatever. That is our constant, I guess. We'll call it that. And yeah, yeah, that's like, you know, I do try to test out things before I use them. So sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. Sometimes I do catch things. But oh boy, we haven't made very much progress today. We've only like fed the cows and stuff. So we need to get booking here because we haven't made very much progress at all. Get the seed, or get this field seeded. That's gonna be another little project. But yeah, that grass should grow up. That guy's yard should look fine again. And yeah, that was like a mistake from when I very first started the map. I'm like, why is this? Now we know. Upper D has completed their task. I still don't believe you, so. Oh no. It's bad when I get mad at the workers because I really don't, you know, like, I don't know. Workers have never, like, bothered me, so. I know some people, like, hate the entire worker system, but they never, you know, bother me in the slightest. So whenever I get mad at them, it's kind of like, you hypocrite, you're never mad at them. Why are you mad at them now? Well, it's because they do some stupid stuff sometimes. What can you do? I could send this guy side to side, but I don't trust him, so I'm not going to this time. I still think this is like one of the most relaxing games that you can play. There's just something about it, you know, you can just kind of chill. Like if anybody's watched my Fallout videos, I am like super tense all the time because something can kill me. Whereas, you know, farming anything, it's just kind of done. Even though I'm missing, you know, big chunks right here. That's kind of stressful. You miss chunks, yeah, that's stressful. It is, that is very, very stressful if you miss a bunch of chunks. I'll make this kind of okay. A little bit. Not the best in the world. Now, what I'm thinking, if I get the grass to grow around the fields, right? Like around the fence or the posts, the power poles, maybe, just maybe, I can prevent the worker from going nuts and driving into it, because they'll see the grass as a like a field boundary almost. Maybe that'll work. I don't know if it's going to work. It very well could, or it could be a horrible idea. Let's get turned around here. Just a little swipe there. There we go. Alright. It looks like something again. I don't know if it's any good, but it is starting to look like a field and not a giant mess. Okay, I don't know why I can't file them over. What in the world, man? What in the world? Now, if I get this, just like... No, don't miss. I missed a little bit. What do you do? Oh, now I got the yawns. I'm almost at that age where I need to start taking naps. That'd be great. I miss nap time. Nap time would be great. The old days. Back when you could, like the old days. Like when I was like 7 and my mom was in college. She took us to a, not like a babysitter or anything. It was more like a, oh, what do they call it? God. It was like a daycare for a little bit older kids. But yeah, they had naps, and that was like the best thing in the world. And I didn't care either, because naps were awesome. Naps are still awesome. But then I hit like, you know, my teenage years. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stay up all night and play WoW or something in like 04, whenever it come out. Yeah, I'm gonna stay up all night and play WoW, then go back to school. Or, you know, whatever game was popular then. Warcraft 3 was pretty good. Stayed up a lot playing that game. I miss games like that. I wish they still made them, because, you know, you don't have very many games, you know, of that genre anymore. They're kind of dying, really. It's kind of sad, you know. Like a bunch of games. We were talking last night in the Discord about a game called Blast Corps, and that game was for the Nintendo 64. And somebody said, oh, well, they should, you know, totally remake that. It probably wouldn't be any good if they remade it. You know, it was such a cheesy, you know, idea of a game, you know. And if you've never played Blast Corps, you've never heard of it. Basically, it was released in like 1996 or whenever the Nintendo 64 came out. I think it was like 96, 97, somewhere around there. And it was a launch title. And the basic premise of the game was to destroy buildings to clear the way of this runaway truck that had a nuclear missile on the back. And, you know, and that was all the info I needed. There was no other story about, you know, how it got away, who did this, is there a subplot, or anything like that. It was simply destroy all the buildings with a dump truck, a robot, a bulldozer, a go-kart, a motorcycle, or was it like a trike or something, and you had like all these vehicles, and that was your only goal, was go destroy all this stuff, because if this nuclear missile hits anything, it's gonna blow up. You know, if it hits a sheet of paper, it's gonna blow up. And that was all like the premise we needed to play a game. And nowadays, you know, everybody wants a full-fledged story plus, you know, online multiplayer and blah 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 blah. And I'm just gonna be honest, that would probably ruin a game like that. You know, I don't need any more depth to that story than please clear all these skyscrapers because random missile truck will explode if it hits. You know, them's was the days. Them's was the good days. And then we were also talking about another Nintendo 64 game, and it was called Dead Harvest, or Body Harvest. Body Harvest is what it was called, and it had some story to it. I don't remember any of the story, but it was very cool. Like, you went around and you shot aliens and stuff, and I remember the controls being absolutely horrible. I never did beat it, but you run around and you shot aliens that were trying to get to people, and the first level was like in Italy or something, and you got to drive around like a truck and blow things up, and you got like a mobile artillery gun in one level and stuff, and I have no idea what the story was even about, and to this day, I probably still will never know what the story was about. All I know was go shoot the aliens and go choo choo choo. And yeah, it was fun. God, that was fun. Then I got my first PlayStation, and it was all downhill from there because I got the Final Fantasy games. I had Final Fantasy 7. I played it on a demo disc at a friend's house, and I had to have it. Like, I had to. After I played the 10-minute demo, yep, I need this game. I need this box that this game is playing on, and I need this game as well. And, you know, at the time, my mom, she bought it. And the only thing, you know, she liked the game because I would read. You know, there was no voice acting or anything. And, you know, I didn't like to read as a kid, but I would sit there for hours and read that text. And, you know, she thought it was the best thing in the world, and she actually played it. You know, my mom is pretty cool. I think I got a pretty cool mom. She does a bunch of stuff, but she plays paintball with us and stuff, and she's 60 now. She'll still go. She's got her own paintball gun and all the gear. And she will go and play paintball with me and my brother, and I think that's like pretty awesome. But yeah, she sat down and played it a few times. Or if, you know, I got to a word that I didn't understand, you know, like or like a concept. Okay, so, you know, Final Fantasy 7, they did have like a few like ideas that they were throwing out at the time. And, you know, I was like 11 when it come out. I didn't know the context of all that, so I'd ask mom. I'm like, hey, you know, I'd save the game, or, you know, before I got to like something I thought was going to be important, I would save the game, play through it. If it didn't make sense, you know, I'd go and grab my mom and like, hey, what does this mean? She'd come in there and explain, yeah, this is what they're trying to talk about and everything. And I thought that was pretty cool. Thought it was pretty cool. Alright, one more pass here, and I think we've got it licked. I think we're doing pretty good. We're making pretty good time. Been playing for about 2 hours. Got 2 fields kind of done. Done some baling. Done some other things. Alright, so we can get rid of this. It works. Go to the garage. This. The vibro works pretty good. And then the cloths. There we go. Mod tested and done and approved. Take that on, knock it down, yeah? Alright, now where's JCB? JCB is here. Get some of this stuff, you know, knocked out and ready. There we go. Oh no. What a mess. What a mess. Why did I bring this onto myself? All the time. Not just once or twice, but all the time. You'd think I'd learn by now. Hi, Benjamins! Or Tubes, or whatever the hell I'm gonna call you. Wait, how do you highlight my name? How does that work? Are you wanting to play some farming simulator? As he fades away into nothingness here. Or do you want to play some Borderlands? Just call me daddy. No, 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 no. Not gonna happen. But do you see now what I'm talking about? Like the couldn't sell the 10A, so put it back. Oh, okay. Do you see what I mean about my the lag? It's like really, really bad. Also, I start my new job on Monday, so that's pretty good. Can you hop in the cord? Yeah, they're both stream delays are set to minimum. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's just been dumb. Like, it's about 45 seconds to a minute behind. I don't know. It just feels like forever behind, and I don't know why. Really? Maybe I'm just preemptive answering you because I know you or something. I don't know.
No.
What up?
Okay. I gotta be here. You're fucking stream. I was streaming with our boy.
Oh.
No, it's normal because you're answering in about 5 seconds, so you're fine.
Okay, yeah, it was just being weird, I thought.
I'm like a gazillion updates because I haven't had the 1080.
No, I gotta turn you up a little bit or something. You're quiet.
I can change my gain. Plus, I'm kind of rolling around.
Oh.
But,
So you couldn't sell the 1080?
no, so I'm going to use it for the next few days until I drop the price on it.
Oh.
I got some bills to pay because I need to do a job.
I'll start mine on Monday. You want to come and build wiring looms with me? It'll be all kinds of fun.
I would.
Pays like $17 an hour. It's not great, but...
I think I'm going to work at the stamping plant.
Oh god. What happened to the job with Chris and Chris?
Yeah. I'm typing this one.
Okay. Well, I'm done with this stream anyway. It's been my 2 hours. Everybody, thank you for watching. I'm going to hop off here. I'll be on probably all day tomorrow playing around this map and testing mods and everything. So thank you for watching.
2 hours? That's all you're giving the folks?
I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.